I love what the Senegalese did because telling the coach telling the players to come out of the pitch was a very planned work, including with Mani. Yes, it might not be professional, but sometimes it does not take professionalism to get victory. What has happened has happened. So if CAF want to find Senegal, but they let him find, and they also find Morocco as for other antis, taking away Mendy's towel and everybody that is.
Albert, you are welcome to the...
Thank you very much, Mr. Kema.
Chima, you are welcome to the studio. We have a whole lot of things to discuss about, especially the one concerning the Senegalese coach, Pape Thiaw, that asked his players to leave the pitch when a controversial penalty was awarded to them against them in the dying minute. Was it the right call for him to make, or was it the wrong call? I will start with you, Chima.
Yes, from my perspective, everything is fair in war. And when you want to fight war, when it is time for war, everything is fair. If professionalism is applied when the two teams are applying it, but when you are officiating a game and then the rules of the game says when I kick you, the referee needs to blow or sound his whistle against me. If I kick you once and the referee sound the whistle against me, and then you kick me and the referee does not sound the whistle, you might do it once, twice, 3 times. Before you know it, that means you are already telling me that there is war and there's something involved in the game. So, and most times when you want to push out a narrative, it's not compulsory you exchange blows when you want to fight. There are many ways to put out your statement, because the Senegalese, all these whole things started, from the train station to the pitch, to giving them pitch to train, and then you want to record them. All of this, they did it against Nigeria. They succeeded because Nigerians are always calm people, because Nigerians believe they want to fear God, and then they believe that when they offend you, God will punish them. They forgot that nothing concerns God in football. You just pray for protection, for life, and then. But when it comes to football, rules 5. Whoever wants it more gets the victory. So when you are on the field of play, I don't like people who are too cold, because even pastors who claim to be pastor on the pulpit, when they want to fight demons, they become rugged. They behave like hard men. I've never seen anybody who have won a fight or won something being cool too much. So I love what the Senegalese did, because telling the coach telling the players to come out of the pitch was a very planned work, including with Mani. Yes, people were saying Sadio Mane did not go inside with them. Sadio Mane did not go inside with them. But let me tell you what happened. Before the coach had to tell the players to go outside, there was a plan, there was a meeting between the coach, and there was a lot of phone calls. And so that thing was a way to put out a statement for the world to see, to embarrass the Moroccans, to put up a very big statement, to let the referee know that we don't like what is going on in this tournament, not just for Senegal match, but for other matches that have taken place before that game. So that statement, they knew that they would continue that game. There was no way Senegalese would have abandoned that game and go. No, but there's something, there's what they call, there are some actions that you give out at that moment. You let your bully, know that I am standing up for fight. Even in the Bible, it happens. Goliath and David. Goliath was terrorizing the whole village, the whole country, everywhere. But he had to take a lot of meeting, a lot of gathering to bring out David and say, come and fight this man. If this man beats you, fine, we are done. They will know that we will have to surrender. But if this man does not beat you, that means this bully need to stop. So definitely, exactly what the Senegalese did. They just have to speak for themselves, since the CAF president and the whole CAF committee have not fined anybody yet for doing anything. And then this Teranga Lions, they don't just call Teranga Lions, they brought out the lions in that Teranga. That is what happened in that game. So definitely, I love what the coach did. Sadio Mane have to stay on the field of play with 1 or 2 players, because if everybody leave the field at that moment, they will award the game, they will award the victory to the Moroccans. So if everybody left the field and there's still 1 player, even when you are celebrating, that's what some fans don't know. If you score a goal and you are celebrating, if you always watch, many out of 11 players on the pitch, you will not see everybody cross the halfway line to go and celebrate. There must always be 1 or 2 players in your half, because it's part of the rules. If you did not leave 1 or 2 players in your half and everybody go to the opponent side and celebrate, the opponent have the right to start the play and go and score you, and the goal will be counted. So that is the rule. So for the fact that Sadio Mane and 1 or 2 players was still We're still on the field of play. There was no way the referee would have kicked the ball or continued the ball. That was why when the Senegalese came back to the pitch of play, they have to give Edouard a yellow card because that was the rules. So I love what the coach did. Yes, it might not be professional, but sometimes it does not take professionalism to get victory. What has happened has happened. So if CAF want to fine Thiaw for that, let him fine, and they also fine Morocco for other antis taking away Mendy's towel and every other thing. So what the coach did was not professional, but that was only what they needed to get that victory. Because by so doing that, they just destabilized the Moroccan. The person that wanted to play the penalty, it was so stabilized. It was so, in fact, the Moroccan did not even expect that action at all. So at that moment, they knew that the world was watching. So at that moment, they felt ashamed of themselves. And I knew already at that moment that if these guys come into the feedback to play, these Moroccans were going to lose that game.
Albert,
Yeah.
desperate measures demands desperate action.
Action, absolutely.
The controversy concerning that penalty award
Yeah.
made Papa Thiaw to tell his players to leave the pitch.
So one of the first time I actually experienced is real time. A coach calling players out was in 2001, in the Challenge Cup match between Multisport Concept and FC BD. When Lagos State Challenge was played in Agege Stadium, I was in that game with GB Emmanuel, Peter Atan, all of us. Now, the referee was so partial. You understand? We'll score a goal, we'll disallow, we'll score, we'll disallow. That match ended 3-2, they actually won us. But when the game was so tense that the referee couldn't even control the game, Shego won't call us out. So I now notice that can actually bring a kind of calmness. You understand? Try to settle the game, and you people will look inward and see how you can approach the game next. And at the same time, if the other team, the referee is trying to support the other team, the referee is partial against this opposition team, you see that when those players comes outside, it disorganizes those players because the tempo of the game has actually dropped. Now, going to the game, before this game, there were off the pitch antics that the Morocco was trying to, you understand, play against the Senegalese team, the pitch, the one or two things that actually happened off the pitch. Now in the pitch, the center referee from Democratic Republic of Congo, Jacques Ngambo, just like the Nigerian game as well, the man was confused at some point in the game. We don't know if there was any ulterior motive. In the 32nd minutes, there was a game that the Senegalese team already had. They were moving. It was a goal bound. But because the Moroccan player was on the ground, he halted the game, which was completely wrong. And that falling that player fell on the floor was a fake one. At the end of the day, when the whistle was blown, he stood up. You understand? So one of the problems is that we're facing in Africa, I think in recent time, the Nations Cup in Morocco, well organized, but one of the biggest flaws we've noticed now is the officiating. Now, other ones from 1994, I started watching 92, 94, we started watching this game growing up. Like Lincoln Chong, which is the African opposite of Gianluigi Colina. Lincoln Chong, his mistake can be identified. In 10 games, you can only see him make like 1 or 2 mistakes. Are you getting it? But now one of the best Nations Cup organized in Africa in terms of infrastructure and everything is being exported by virtue of the officiating. You understand? So Thiaw calling out his player. See, in professionalism, put it together in any aspect of professionalism involved, be it coaching, be it nursing, be it doctor. That's why I say sometimes, I think the man that brought there was a time let me just digress, in Western Europe where there was a mass death in childbirth. I think Ignat Semmelweis, he was a man that brought in washing hands with a lime. And it actually helped. Yes, it was a Swiss man. He sanitized your hand before you take a woman into labor room, and that thing helped. They broke down the issue of concurrent death and all of that. So if Thiaw brought them out, it's a level of professionalism. Professionalism has to do with your level of innovation. What can you bring to the table to ensure that you win in a particular when desperate time calls for desperate measures? Now, he called those players out. Don't forget, in the course of calling those players out, Diouf was there, ex-international. A lot of players were there. Even this coach, what's his name? Claude de Roy, caused money. There were so many people putting us together. What will be the way forward? In that case, at that particular instance, it dropped down the morale of the Moroccan players. Are you getting it? So as those players, had it been as the penalty was awarded, they accepted. The morale of the game would have gone. Maybe Diaz or anybody would have stepped in and all of that. But in the course of bringing those players out, see, this thing is a mind game. And much kudos to Papa Tia. He may not have many coaching experience, but that's little brilliance of his playing time and what he has seen. Because in life, you don't necessarily need to be in something for you to have experience. You learn from other people around you. Are you getting it? Some persons, some lecturers today, they may not have the best of knowledge more than other people that were not employed as a lecturer. But some lecturers actually went deep, read a lot of books, and had so many experiences and teaching ideology in which you understand they use in the classroom. So Papa Tia may not have a lot of coaching experience, but that idea, bringing out those players at that time, a swift of intellectuality, he brought out those players. It actually demoralized, because I believe perhaps it wasn't Diaz that was supposed to play that penalty. Maybe Hakimi would have stepped in. El-Nesri, I know. It was the one that hold the ball. Don't forget, it's football. He may just hold the ball as a mind game. Some people will hold the ball, they will not play it. At the end of the day, when the referee asks everybody to stand, he will not give the ball to the person that was over. It may be Hakimi, it's widely experienced Hakimi, the captain of the team, that would have stepped in and hit the ball. But in the course of those Senegalese players going to the line, a lot of people were cracking their brains. What's the way forward? Argument and all of that. And I think that as well, at that point too, I've given the referee, Ngambo, the thought that I'm actually doing the right thing, because there was actually a incident that happened that he was supposed to have. Now, this is the issue again. The VAR issue in Africa is not yet top notch. There are issues. Now, the issue that happened from the Senegalese side, the VAR was not reviewed. Why are you reviewing?
When the Senegalese protested,
it was not reviewed. Then why are you reviewing this one? So there are so many lacunas, there are so many issues that have happened in this game. So Tiao, that what he did, I think, is a productive one. Is an IQ he imputed in his level of professionalism. Why will CAF, to me, in my own opinion, why will CAF suspend him when there was a lot of mistakes from the referee? He has his players to come out. He didn't tell them to abandon the game. At the end of the day, after there was calmness and everything, they went into the pitch, and Mendy, doing what he knows how to do when he was in Chelsea, he caught a Diaz penalty. And as well, that thing disorganized the Moroccan side. So the thing is this: don't forget, one of the greatest coach on earth, Alex Ferguson, he used to play mind games. Even when they give him a pre-match touch, when he's talking, he used some certain words for some certain coaches. Are you getting it? Post-match analysis, he say some certain words as well. So what this man did, Papa Tiao, it was a mind game. He played it at that swift of intellectuality, and it worked in for him. So I don't think there's anything wrong in that. They didn't abandon the game, but because they were not happy the way the referee was officiating the game, they have to step to the line, on the line of the pitch, and see what is the way forward. So at the end of the day, Diaz went step on with the ball, and he missed the game. So it is a win-win situation. What he applied actually worked for him. But trust me, if he has placed that ball immediately, and the Senegalese didn't protested, he would have scored, because the tempo of that game that time was, I don't forget, the stadium was about 67,000 capacity. 2,000 plus was given only to the Senegalese. It's too bad, too poor, and they were even supposed to be up to 10, because a lot of Senegalese people traveled their bet, because the ticket issued out for the Senegalese were actually limited, because they don't want a lot of fans to come in. They only want to be hearing their fans jeering and supporting their people. But at the end of the day, thumbs up to the fans. They stood up, they rose to the ante of the game. They shouted in their full voice, in their yellow jerseys. They were on top of it. Kudos to them. I love what they did. The fans and Tia, what they did at that point in time was top notch. So they merited it.
Anyway, Chuma, Sadio Mane's input in bringing back the players from the dressing room. What's your take about that?
It was a normal thing to bring back the player, because somebody would have still done that if Sadio Mane had not done that. Telling the players to go inside was still part of Sadio Mane's plan, because I read this interview after the game, and he said that they all agreed together to leave the pitch. So it was not as if Sadio Mane was not among the plan. He was among the plan, but he's just like a big boy, like a big player. You guys go inside the dressing room. I will stay back left, because all of us cannot go inside. If we go inside, we won't know what is going on. So let us see what is going to happen. Even the coach asking the players to go inside was not solely his plan, but it feels like this is the best thing to do right now. For the very first time I was watching football, and I was so happy, because I am a fighter, and I love when people fight for what they want. When you are looking at people, even if the person is a soldier or so, people pushing you to the wall, and you get to the wall, there's no way to go again at that moment. You should fight back, even if you have to die Fight back, because if you did not fight back, they will still kill you. So at that moment, at that point in time, it was obvious. The penalty, the goal that Sarr scored, that VAR did not check. Fine. Yes, there was a reason why VAR did not check. The referee sounded the whistle. Almost immediately, the foul happened. But that was a very big error from the referee. If you have a VAR, if there's a VAR, any match that there's VAR, referees are not allowed to sound their whistle easily, especially inside the 18-yard box, where VAR can have a look at it. You should not sound your whistle at that time, because you were not sure of what has happened in that play. You should have allowed the flow of the game. If they have scored the goal and celebrated the goal, then you can VAR can review it by them. Because if that referee did not sound that whistle at that moment, when was it Sadio Mane or so nodded the ball at that time before Sarr scored and the goal, VAR will have reviewed the ball, because the referee knew what he was doing. Every little thing, he was sounding the whistle. So got one mistake that the Senegalese made. Diop made a very big mistake. That ball was a pure penalty in terms of normal play. But you are fighting with this kind of players, this kind of officiating. When you come into a game as a player, you know that the officiating has been bad so far. I started the game, first half, you saw the wrong officiating. You should come together knowing fully well that we can't afford to give the referee opportunity to punish us. So this is how you plan as a team. So I believe that was why Diop was crying, because he knew he messed up. At that point in time, at that stage in time, inside the 18-yard box, where I saw Ghana of Everton, I saw a lot of players there going to defend with their handbag, even sliding. They were not making that mistake. Then why would you do Diaz in that manner? That was a very pure penalty. But the Senegalese have to believe like that, because they also had the opportunity to score. The referee did not say anything, because they have already had it in mind that this officiating has been so poor. But that fight was not just for the Senegalese, it was for the whole Africa to put that statement out. Now, when Mendy was at the post, they were taking Mendy's towel.
Even I did that.
Okay, now look at what happened. When they were taking Mendy's towel, a lot of things were happening at the back, the game, and before they take that towel, they will wait until they are attacking Senegal, so that Mendy will be distracted in case he wants to look at what is going on. But because Mendy was focused, this is how you play African football. This is how Mendy was focused. Now, I saw some scenario where people were fighting because of that towel. Referee did not stop that game. On a normal scenario, even in the crowd, I've been watching matches, even in Premier League, where if somebody collapses or something is happening in the section of the crowd, in the stand, referee will have to stop the game so that they can attend to that thing happening there. So, but if when you don't behave, when you don't stop the game, you are giving you feel like you don't want to stop. So, if they have scored Mendy in that scene where outside the pitch, not even outside the pitch, people were fighting because of towel, you could not stop the game to go and attend to put the game in, at least to even draw the attention of the car and the people watching to see that, okay, why are you behaving like this? So the referee was just like that. In fact, this kind of referees are not supposed to be handling this kind of games.
Albert, any other thing to chip in before I round it up?
No much thing to say about it. I think I have, in that regards, I have spoken extensively on that. But the thing is that football, apart from being played on the pitch, is being played outside as well. The mind games, what you say to your players' reaction. And once more, I want to say a very big kudos to Papa Thiaw, a very big kudos to the Senegalese fans. It's not easy for you to just be lower than 3,000, drawing so many lines, standing tall in the midst of 65,000. Bro, I'm serious. Nigerian fans supporters club need to learn from this.
So, but we didn't go with supporters.
No. Okay, yes. Now, when I mean Nigerian fans, the fans are different from supporters.
Okay.
Now, those people are clad in their supporters' uniform, yellow, right? Now, even in Nigeria, when the supporters even get there, that's why I say they are not properly remunerated. Their welfare is not okay. When they blow that trumpet to a point, you look as if they are hungry. Now, fact, I'm always there most times. When they blow that trumpet for like 15 minutes, they will rest. Even when Nigeria is one go down or one go up, the morale is not coming from the supporters' end. But look, in the midst of 67,000 capacity stadium, only less than 3,000 Senegalese fans standing on top of their voice. Man, kudos to Senegal. God bless them. They are way forward in African football. Thank God. Let me just say, thank God that at the end of the day, they won the trophy.